I'm the curator at the Oceanarium here in Bournemouth, and that really means I'm looking after all the fish and the reptiles and other creatures that we have here. And also we have to educate and inform our visitors of all the interesting things that we have. When we first heard about the reef being built, we had a good idea that it would become, in time, a habitat for sea creatures in the area that might otherwise not have existed. Eventually it become a thriving habitat in its own right. We've heard that there's spider crabs already being seen on the reef, which shows how quickly things are happening. That's a little bit of a surprise, to be honest. It's amazing how quickly nature's able to get in there and start reclaiming something, making something her own. Once the reef's been built, we kind of expect some things to start growing actually on the reef itself. That's the start of the process, and then once they start to grow, that provides little nooks and crannies and spaces for smaller fish to make a home. So you get to see things like blennies and gobies, and then that provides food for bigger fish. So you start to see things like bass. Once you get the larger fish around there, you've kind of got your sort of complete ecosystem, really. You can also then start seeing things like dolphins feeding on the fish that feed on the fish on the reef, so that really completes the picture. Having the reef right here on our doorstep, just up the road from the Oceanarium, is fantastic for us. For the Oceanarium as well, it's something we want to be involved in. Hopefully we can pass that information on to our visitors as well, so we can let them know what's going on right on their doorstep, just under the sea, and I think it'll be really interesting.
My name is Rex Pollock from Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I'm the Marine Construction Manager for ASR Limited, in charge of the entire construction of the reef. My role is mainly to manage the construction of it, but as part of that I get in and do my shift to make sure everything's where it's meant to be and how it's meant to be done. There's lots of spider crabs down there, and amongst the little bits of seaweed that are there. They're quite big, up to a dinner plate size, and there's literally hundreds of them. We've seen little seahorses down there. What else have we seen? Every time you get in, you're followed by a whole lot of fish now. It's really good. We have seen lobsters down there, some to a pretty good size, and some to the baby size as well, and shrimps, and at the moment there's a lot of little cuttlefish sort of hanging around, so it's quite a little habitat down there. About a month ago we were out there and there was a pot of dolphins in the bay, and they came in to see us and swam all around the divers while we were working. It was actually quite special. They were there for a couple of days, and they've been out in the bay a few more times, but I think the noise of the construction and all the activity going on out there might scare them off a little bit, so hopefully in the future they'll come back in when we've packed up and gone. There's some quite big fish out there at the moment. There's some really big mullet, there's black bass, normal bass, wrasse up to about £5. Some of the mullet are around £3 or £4. They're really coming in. It's a real good fishery out there at the moment. For beginner divers or snorkelers even who want to see fish life, they're going to get a pleasant surprise out there. There's a lot of fish life. There's workups on the reef every day with the fish chasing the sprats and things like that. So it'll be great for snorkelers and learner divers as well. What we've built here is an eco-friendly reef. It's really good for surfers when the swell's running, and when there's no swell running it'd be absolutely ideal for snorkelers and divers.